Well, I reached the end of the main strip, Sims Esplanade. More sort of resort style accommodation there by the looks of things. Just curves around here, comes into Kempton, and that's where I need to go down to Kempton so I can get into the road I need to be in for the inspection. Just got to try to remember how to get there. Worst comes to worst, I'll get the data happening and get the GPS up and running. Probably best I orientate myself before I wander around any more. At least there's plenty of shade here and it's nice and quiet, not this continued traffic you get around Para Park. Nice and sedate and serene. Very nice. Let's see, what's the name of this road? No, I don't think so. Oh, it's no through road anyway, so that's definitely not it. Okay, it must be the next one, or the one after. I can't exactly remember, I have to sort of wing this. Can't be too far away, I don't think. Here we go. Yeah, Albion, here it is here. So it's not too hard to find, and it's not too far from the beach. Albion just up here, and to the it's up here to the right. So what I might do is just wander down this past the place, have a look at the area. It's pretty quiet compared to what I'm used to. It's just a lot nicer, this sort of walking in a more natural environment rather than everything built up. It's just, I'm getting just a bit over it. Now, that's the place, that's number 1, unit 1, just there, which is nothing special. And the one that's up for inspection is next door to it. And naturally, it's unit 2. Let's just have a look from the outside first. So, yeah, that's the neighbour's place with the adjoining garage adjoins the actual property. And there's the board. So, definitely in the right place. Well, I know what it looks like because I've checked it out on. Yeah. What's it say? You just have interest. 2 to 2:30. Yep. Perfect. They've already got the board out. Very conscientious. Oh, I'll just have a look around the area. That hedge is a bit old-fashioned. Some of the interiors are nice. It's actually one thing they don't have carpet. They have tiles, which I think is good. What's that? There's a dog next door. What's up here? Heading towards the hills, so that's where the highway is, just up here. And that's a fairly large property by the looks of things. Quite large. Wow. Okay. Dog next door. Oh, that's such a great thing. Security if you're being an optimist, but could be a pain in the arse too. So these things got to be taken into account. Still barking. Yeah, well, that would have definitely be the worst presented place I've ever seen in real estate. It was so bad that the actual spare bed you couldn't really check out. Bedroom you couldn't even check out because the it was full of furniture. They were using it for storage, so you couldn't really look at it. And the dog was barking next door when I turned up, and then my cousin told me that you could have problems with insurance, and the whole place looked pretty run down because it's semi-detached. It could be a situation where you've got insurance that you have to share the costs with the other unit. That's apparently how it works in New South Wales. So yeah, I like Yorkeys Knob. Yorkeys Knob is a nice part of the world. But oh, the other thing too is I tripped over there's a very low step that isn't defined with any colour or anything. I tripped on it twice, and the second time I went arse over tit and fell forward, and I've now got a cut on my face, and also the knee's a bit scraped as well. So not a pleasant experience. Maybe it's an omen. I'm thinking that maybe yeah, I don't know, I may not be have a place to, I'm not in a position to buy something. I think it's looking rather glum at the moment. My cousin said there is a place, a 2-bedroom place in Kiwara Beach. There was an inspection at 10 o'clock this morning, but I think it's the other side of the highway, which is no good to me. But it was going for a reasonable price, at least. It was high, oh shit. Better get myself sorted here. At Smithfield Shopping Centre, and luckily there are a few buses going to Cairns Central, as you can see, and this sign is actually working. It's the only sign I've seen so far that is working, because the one at Lake Street has been on the blink for well in excess of a month, I'd say. So anyway, be back in the big smoke soon. Yes, rather disappointing inspection again. That's 2 duds in a row. I'll be intrigued to find out where this 2-bedroom place is. I think a cousin told me it's the other side of Cook Highway. If it isn't, I'm kicking myself because I didn't see it. So I don't know how I missed that one, but yeah, you can't afford to miss up opportunities at the moment. There's so few properties on being listed. Not good. Well, that was an eventful day for the wrong reasons. I'm glad it came to the end and I'll be able to relax at home. I don't want to go out tomorrow. I've got bruises on my knees thanks to tripping on that step. It's one of those. That's why they paint them a different colour. There's very little difference in height, and it's diabolical for someone with crappy eyesight like me, especially wearing one of these stupid masks. So it just made it even harder to see. So one of the consequences of these masks that these health experts didn't contemplate, no doubt. So there you go. Oh, I hate this. Got red lights. I don't know. I'll change if I try walking. So oh, I still should be fine. Someone's turning, so bugger it. Okay. Now hopefully my camera still works, because the camera was actually where I fell onto my front pocket. So hopefully this GoPro appears to be going okay. I mean, they are action cameras. They're made fairly tough, but probably not for, you know, it could have been worse. I did cut myself in the mouth. Got a little bit of blood on one side of the mask, but it doesn't show on the other side, thank God. Oh, the other thing is, there was a couple of people on the bus coming back. One is this young guy. I don't think he was all there. He was sitting in a sideways, staring back at people, and across the window. Had a dirty t-shirt on. Didn't wear a mask either. A couple of people weren't wearing masks in the bus. Most were. And then there were a couple of guys who got on, and they were the same. They weren't They were maskless and mouthing off quite a bit. So it looks as though there's quite a few people up here that are turning a blind eye to the law, and I'm not necessarily against that, because I think it's a rather pointless exercise, to be frank. And as I've said, there's inconsistencies. If you're younger, you can generally avoid it anyway, and I don't know whether that's a particularly smart move if you really believe in the efficacy of having a mask. So yeah, well, but certainly a memorable trip. Also, it was much noisier down on Sims Esplanade when I came back from the inspection. There were a lot more kids around and families and what have you, although it is still quite a nice spot. But again, I was waiting across at the bus stop, and there was a unit right across from me. You could hear the kids screaming out from the unit across the road. That's how noisy it was. You can imagine it'd be like if you were one of their neighbours. So that's the problem, living in a unit as opposed to a house. As I say, the house inspection was very underwhelming. The leaflet that the agent produced was quite amateurish, I thought, compared to ones you get up here. Makes me realise that someone like Darcy is very professional the way he acts. This was like an old time real estate agent, I think, far north real estate agent, and I'd be embarrassed if I was an agent presenting a place like that. I mean, not even having the people couldn't even be bothered shoving excess stuff into storage so they could actually show the other bedroom. That's probably the slackest I've ever seen. I mean, I've seen better places that are actually rentals than this. I'm assuming they're the owners that are living there. They've definitely got kids, and yeah, I don't think they're going to get they could do a lot better if they just put a bit of care into the presentation, but you know, it's chalk and cheese. You compare what I went through compared to what they're doing to sell their place. So they're hoping that the position will sell it for them, and maybe it will in this crazy market, but I still think they're dudding themselves probably out of tens of thousands of dollars because the presentation's so ordinary. So it all counts, but I just wasn't interested, especially after I had the fall. That was it. Well, once the two other factors were the barking dog. That stopped when the actual inspection was taking place, but I have a feeling that might be more the norm than what was happening in the inspection. The neighbour might have been told to shut up his dog. I don't know. And like I said, my cousin said in New South Wales, it can be a nightmare if you've got a place that's a duplex where you've got shared space between. It's not a fully detached property. Then you have to actually come to some compromise about insurance between the two parties, and that could get very messy. So that may not be the case in Queensland though. I was going to ask the agent, but there were a few people going through during the inspection, and I wasn't overly wrapped in the place anyway. I don't know if there's any point in me. I mean, considering the condition of the place, I think $3.99 is a bit cheeky. It's they're only doing it because they've got the two bathrooms. They've got a pool which is a reasonable size, but not in great nick. The entertainment area, again, not in great nick. It's a very shabby property in my opinion. So it didn't enthuse me at all. I can see exactly why some properties will sell quickly and others could be sitting on the market for some time. Although it definitely is a seller's market right now, so you just don't know. But I'm not going to get bloody shoehorned into buying something like that, which I would not be happy with in the long term. It just isn't good enough. So it might be worth waiting. It's a shame, because if I could travel overseas, I'd say bugger the whole thing. I'll just go to Vietnam for 3 months and just sit it all out and think about things without having to worry about, having to pay for rates or anything here. It'd be a perfect time to do it. But of course, good old COVID has really bitten me in the arse in this respect, because it's double whammy. It's actually prevented me from travelling, and also it's led to this ridiculous explosion in house prices because people just don't want to live in units. Double whammy, not good. And unfortunately I couldn't buy a place prior to Christmas. That would have been, that seemed crazy then, but now it seems genteel compared to what's happening. Oh dear, tough times. The other thing about Yorkeys Knob, even though it's nice, without a car it could be a problem down there. It is fairly isolated because the bus service is actually not as good as at the other two beaches for a start, and there are facilities there, but I don't know, it may not be a huge problem, but yeah, I don't know, I just don't know. It didn't take me long to get the connection back to the city from Smithfield once we got there. We were waiting for about 10-12 minutes. It wasn't too bad, and of course it's a lot better during a weekday. The weekend schedules here aren't that great, so. But I will literally be licking my wounds after today, and I thought I'd actually broken my sandal. That's how violently I fell down. But I hadn't. It just bent one of the pieces of metal to hold the strap. So I'll probably have to try to move that back into shape. But these are, I've worn these a fair bit, so we've had pretty good service, these sandals. They've done well. I mean, I got them at a cheap price online, and yeah, they've been very good. Leather uppers, quite comfortable. The only downside is you pick up a bit of grit when you're walking along sort of a surface, an uneven surface. You'll get pebbles and crap coming in there, and you've got to take them off. It's quite irritating to have that under your feet. So that's about it, really. Anyway, it was an experience all round today, including the bus trip, especially the one coming back. Please consider subscribing to my channel if you think there's anything there of use to you, or entertainment or whatever. And either do that or give me a thumbs up, or if you're feeling really energetic, do both. That'd be great.